going to say I would hold off on my segue into the bus thing if more people were coming in. But
I don't
otherwise,
think so.
I'll just
Let me just look and see. If
I don't think so.
wanted to get into that aspect of it.
Yeah,
'Cause it is
exactly.
the political thing, and it is the change and the speed of change, and what we're doing. At least next, before all these state votes in 2012, is the presidential campaign and trying to make an impact there. And I sort of volunteered to help coordinate this thing because I had been talking with our candidate.
Yes.
And so I've been making connections. I've been doing the website and things like that.
Yep.
And I had various ideas because what we were talking before about hierarchies,
right,
and who the boss is and stuff like that. And I just had the way I've been thinking about this panning out and how it would happen. And I just wanted to run it by you, and I guess all of you. What do you think? And my idea was that I'm mostly dealing with the logistics.
Mm-hmm.
I want to deal with, having, if we can get funding, having a place to stay, an office, fuel for the buses, food for the people, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And also, press contacts, possible celebrity contacts, and having a lot of information in terms of like where the candidates are, what they're doing, and this kind of stuff. And then, but the actual political action, I wouldn't be the boss of that. It'd be like
we'll invite the anarchists.
Well, yeah, Vermin was saying we're going to get all kinds of people coming up there anyway, joining in.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it'll have to be a, there'll have to be meetings. There'll have to be affinity groups.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Deciding on the details of the protest, like specifically whether or not
assembly.
Yep. Protest. Well.
Yep.
Or assembly, whatever they want to do.
I don't know. Well,
whatever they want to do.
Only because the thing is, are we planning? See, I've been using the word convergence, which I really want to check in with that as well.
Convergence.
Yeah.
But Vermin actually is going to be running for the Democratic nomination. Is that correct?
We don't know. I mean, did he set a party yet?
I thought that he determined that he's gonna be in the Democratic primary.
He was leaning that way last time.
Right. And so that's it. We have to figure out what one of those words. What are we?
Because if he is going to be in the Democratic primary, then that we've got to be oriented in that direction and make him win that primary if we can, or make him take votes from somebody.
Yeah.
But the groups of people that'll be on the campaign trail for the various different political issues are not going to necessarily be tied to any particular candidate.
Right.
The candidate's sort of independent from the issues. But
if Vermin's there and there's another speaker, it will draw attention to what a crook, whatever particular candidate that needs to be drawn attention to.
But I mean, we wouldn't be endorsing a Democratic candidate because there are, Gary Johnson may be running on the Republican side, and also it would be good to be friends with him.
Right.
Well, you know what? It's like okay, they're going to have the Democrats are going to host the pancake breakfast. Mm-hmm. And so they'll have all their candidates there if they can get them all. So Vermin would show up as one of them because if he's really a Democratic candidate on the ballot, then he can get in, and we get in as supporters. And that's, he does. And that's why I mentioned that one because he has flipped pancakes.
Right, he was in the pancake.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's how, like when there's other things going on with the candidates, we all show up as Vermin supporters. Now we're actually inviting, there's more people coming, and they would be more like the agitators for their issue, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about at MassCan was, two things. One of them was not wanting to be seen as a general mishmash of a bunch of different random issues. To keep the marijuana thing distinct.
Yep. Who said this?
Well, it's just come up a number of times as far as
that's the vision, though. That's what they want.
Right.
And so that's why I think
want to have, there'll be marijuana people out at a particular campaign stop
Right.
or something, and there'll
Yeah.
be animal rights people, there'll be anti-war people, and it's not going to be just like a big mash of everybody.
Right.
There'll be distinct campaigns
Yeah.
going on, and there'll be distinct, a separation from the issues from the candidates. So they'll be working closely with each other.
Yep.
And we'll have certain candidates that are very supportive of our issue that we'll be working closely with, and we'll have other candidates that are opposed to our issue that we'll still be trying to influence. Trying to.
Yep. Yeah.
So we'll be out there at all the campaign stops of all the candidates. Well, that's what I was trying to get into is the decision making of the group itself, and the types of decisions that they try to make, and I guess one of the big ones would be whether or not it's a civil disobedience issue. Whether or not,
Well,
whether and I don't have any feeling one way or the other. It's up to the people.
Right.
Whether-
Well, I think it's up to us, as in I see it as we are inviting people to come, and we can take care of all these things because we're going to need to, the food, the office, and the press. So it'd be like, okay, then it could be that it is a real specific marijuana convergence, marijuana summit, marijuana, because I think there also should be time for all those people to get together and.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the different political issues, maybe living in the same place, maybe sharing the same
Right,
office.
right. Or they may be local. Was it here that we were talking about it, or at Vermin's? We were like, okay, so we've got how many days? We show up the week before, the weekend before, and on Monday it's going to be this. On Tuesday we invite people to,
Oh, it may be different issues, different
exactly,
days. Okay.
right. And so then local people can come and do more stuff, and we can be around to do that stuff.
But that
with
season
them.
is going to be 3 weeks or a month probably, and it'll
Well,
be
yeah,
getting more intense.
Well,
Yeah,
it's the
Vermin-
New Hampshire
Vermin says that-
primary
Vermin
is
said
really
it's
a
like
short
one-
few days.
But there'll be candidates. Steve Epstein from MassCan was talking about, we gotta get people up there this summer and fall, for a couple of the events, because
Yes.
there will be political events up there, and I'm looking at least for a month or two of some stuff even before it builds up to really big. There'll be a lot of stuff going on, and
Well, if he's
there'll
really,
be a core group of people,
Yep.
and then other locals or people will be coming in for the day or the weekend and stuff.
Yep.
And it will get more and more as we go on. And the two issues, the two type of issues I was thinking of that may come up is like whether people are going to be holding signs,
Yep.
or whether they're going to be doing civil disobedience.
Right.
And the other issue is where do you put your emphasis about do you go after the front runner, or do you go after everybody, or do you try to go out to the campaign that's really supportive of you, or do you go out to the campaign that's opposed to you? And these are decisions
Yeah.
that have to be made by people
Yeah.
on the ground once we get there.
Well, and
But also we can influence it.
Right, and I would say my intuition right now, and I've been there on 2 different years, and it's not. I don't think we would want to turn it into a civil disobedience or a protest, because there's not a high police presence now, except for the special Goonies, and I'm certain there is somewhere else, but it's not like that. It's very friendly. People on the streets. There's no real fear. There's a lot of people. So I think that what we can encourage is it to be holding signs, very civil.
That's what
And very old-fashioned, kind of New England-y, kind of like we want it's giving this assembly, we are speaking, and we're not yet going to dissent.
Yeah. Well, the thing I didn't want to have anybody be a top-down leadership, but I
Right.
did want to have that sort of
Yes.
influence where it's positive, because Vermin was talking about the possibility that the economy is so bad there are going to be angry people showing up, and we want to do our best to guide people
Yes.
in our
Yes.
group at least to be civil,
Yep.
to be positive, to
Yep.
be upbeat.
With a lot of theater opportunities for them to do, although we know the puppet theater will get rated first. But,
The Bread and Puppet from
that's a good thought too. Bread and
they
puppet.
were just down here a few weeks ago
Uh-huh.
at Hampshire College, and I saw them, and they have a bus they travel.
They
around.
do, and yeah.
well,
That's
they should
good.
come to a lot of those
They
events
should
too. I'm
certainly
sure they
be
will.
encouraged
Yeah.
to be part of. I'm sure they've got plans to do, because they're very political.
Well, I think they need to be invited, because it's nobody
but
goes to this
definitely,
event.
make them aware of the fact that this is happening.
Yes.
But you know what I think is that, don't never forget that as long as we're talking about this particular substance and we're talking about focusing a campaign on it, there's going to be a lot of people holding, carrying, and using this substance, and they are, I mean, as we are in this room right now, committing acts of civil disobedience and are subject, therefore, to arrest. So one of the things that would be important to do, even if you don't plan a civil disobedient event, you know, is to train people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
you're absolutely going to see raids and arrests, and
Right.
So
And
people
yeah.
are going to have to be ready for that, and are going to have to understand that we're already in an act of rebellion,
Right.
And there is this-
and that you know, therefore we're subject to the prosecution. That's what I consider that the prime New England tradition politically is civil disobedience. It's Thoreau, you
Right.
know, it's
Right.
it's how we show our government that it's not who's in charge. The people are going to determine this, but we have to sort of hit up against that resistance in the government that says you're a criminal, you're doing something wrong, when we know we're not.
Well, the thing is that we're also going to New Hampshire, and New Hampshire, over the last year or so, has been doing, you know, locally, a lot of civil disobedience around
Right.
the marijuana issue.
Well, that's
There is this whole
They're
movement
primed
going on.
for it.
Right.
You know, they're ready to do it every
and
day
that-
at 4:20. You know, and so.
Right.
But there
So
have
we
been
need to try to
arrests
tap into that
too.
too.
And the thing
Right,
is that
well,
we,
and
thing is
ta-
we have to do, as you say, a lot of training, because, you know, if you have a situation where, you know, the spokesman or whatever, you know, whatever the guide or the core
Yep.
group gets knocked off in some raid,
Yep.
you know, the one person who is a total novice, who is not, you know, somehow is ended up not being in jail and everybody else is, they have to be able to go to the press and know how to do it in a positive, upbeat way. You know,
Right.
This is,
Yeah.
you know, we are carrying on no matter what is going on with this jailing thing. You know, but I'm also saying, I'm also hoping that there won't be. I mean, it's certainly a potential, but I'm hoping there won't be a lot of confrontation. I'm hoping
Right.
it
Right.
is positive, and even if it's civil disobedience, that the authorities don't crack down, or if they crack down, it's, you know, they don't try to knock out the whole group like one of these